Welcome to all. Welcome to our first active. Here's the breaking news. Yes, outside the third international summit on human genome editing, protesters held banners that read "Stop Designers Babies" and "Never Again to Eugenics," calling for a ban on human genome editing. It was a reminder of the ethical quandary that embryo science and genome editing can present. Inside the meeting held at the Francis Crick Institute in London in March, it was clear that the pace of the science prompting such concern is quickening. Scientists reported, for example, that they had grown mice using eggs engineered from cells from male mice. The following month, researchers in China reported pregnancies in monkeys after transferring artificial embryos made from stem cells into monkey wombs, although the pregnancies did not progress beyond a very early stage. The conference is also hosted a talk by a woman whose sickle cell disease had been successfully treated by editing the genetic code in her body's blood producing cells. Regulators, whose job it is to establish the bounds of what is permissible, are struggling to keep up. Regulatory approval cannot happen at the same speed as scientific development, says Peter Thompson, chief executive of the UK Human Fertilization and Embryology Authorities, a government body seen as a trailblazer in regulating this branch of science and medicine. International Summit on Human Genome Editing in Hong Kong that he had altered the genomes of twin girls born by in vitro fertilization, that called IVA, with the aim of giving them resistance to infection by HIV. His work was widely condemned by researchers as irresponsible, and after the Chinese court judged it to involve illegal medical practice, he was given a 3 years prison sentence. The World Health Organization currently recommends against the use of heritable or germline human genome editing, but has no powers of enforcement, and neither does any other international body. Some national bodies such as the HFEA can create rules to govern research and its outputs, but such centralized oversight is relatively rare. Most scientists comply with guidelines formulated by professional bodies such as the International Society for Stem Cell Research, but these principles have neither legal force nor a mandate from wider society. The ideal rule book would be agile and able to evolve with the science, and it would include public and expert opinions, but it is not clear that existing procedures can do the job. So the HFEA is considering changing how it works to accommodate the pace of research. Yes, in February, it launched a public consultation on ideas to future-proof the Human Fertilization and Embryology Act, the law that governs UK embryo and fertility research. But will such changes be enough to keep up? Rules and laws governing embryo science have often emerged slowly and piecemeal. After the first IVF birth in the 1970s, the UK government convened an expert panel to consider how embryo research should be regulated. For example, how long human embryos could be cultured and studied in the laboratory for. In 1984, the panel recommended a limit of 14 days from fertilization, a restriction that finally became law in the United Kingdom in 1990 and was adopted by several other countries. The ISSCR also adopted this limit in its guideline until 2021, when it proposed relaxing the restriction in some circumstances in response to researchers' newfound ability to grow embryos right up to the limit and taking into account the potentially useful knowledge that could be gleaned from going beyond it. At the same time, the ISSCR advised against using methods such as CRISPR, a technique that cuts the DNA sequence at specific points, or potentially more accurate base and prime editing techniques to alter the genome in human embryos until the safety issues are better understood.